Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is the only answer. I have been well blessed in this lifetime. I've said before, we get our liquid gold in different places, and for me, my liquid gold was my mother. She was such a grace and so loving and so unconditional in her love and so deeply aware because she was such a wise soul that love is the answer, and love is the answer, and love is the answer, and love is the answer. And so the question is, what ails you? And the answer is love. And so sometimes it's like, well, I don't understand how the answer could be love because right now I'm dealing with a partner who betrayed me, or slept with someone else, or a friend who lied to me, or a boss who discredited me and it was dishonest, or we can see a lot of things in the outer world that do not look like love. And what I would say is the reason love is the only answer is because it is the truth of who you are. And it is the truth of who everyone you've ever witnessed is. And just because we have truth doesn't mean that entities are always aligned with it. And you may be a very loving person. If you're watching Heather Feather's channel, I would venture to guess you are, because I'm a major lover, just like my mother. I love humanity. I love all the creatures. I love all the plants. I love it all. I have great love to share with the world, and I do daily. And still, every time I do not choose the only true choice of love, I am lost in an illusion. I am lost in a dream. I am lost in Maya. I am lost in the hologram. I forget myself. I forget myself in those moments. And because I do know what it is like to forget myself, because I do know what it means to get off kilter, off course, out of accord with the Lord, because I do know what it means to miss the mark of the truth, it's my aim to always get back to it. The tricky aspect of that is that when we judge, we lose the light of love that we are. We lose the truth. We lose sight of the truth. And that sight becomes a blight in which we cannot really get things quite right. You have to be in alignment for things to be in the flow, for things to go the way they're meant to. And so many of the masters that I've studied, I've studied Course in Miracles, Way of Mastery very deeply, which is channeled Yeshua ben Joseph, or Jesus the Christed One, that beautiful brown man. But I've studied many masters. There are many, Gautama the Buddha, Muhammad. I think many masters have walked the earth, and they have all come bringing precious messages. And the universal theme that you can find in the Baha'i faith and the Zoroastrian faith, it doesn't matter the faith tradition you look at, is essentially do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. It's essentially the golden rule. It's like what you send out is what you get back. And it basically states, and universally I've seen this again and again and again in spiritual text after spiritual text after spiritual text, is to the virtue of truly becoming you is that you can drop the leaden heavy weight of judgment and bombastic, self-righteous, standing on your high horseness, and truly have empathy and compassion for every entity that you ever experience. Because when we recognize, I too have become unaligned with my truth, I too have become unaligned with the only answer. There are moments in which I have acted out in anger or in ignorance or in judgment, which is, might as well just call ignorance. like you don't ever walk in another person's shoes. But what you do is you walk in your own shoes, and in your own shoes, you may have moments in your journey here at Earth School where you're really having trial and tribulation when it comes to expressing the truth of the love that you be. And I think anyone in the living tree can relate to that. These moments where we kind of wanted to be kind but needed a snack or needed a nap, or just being fussy, or just being judgmental, or being an online troll or being whatever it is that two-leggeds are doing out there in the world, that is out of accord with the truth. The reason love is the only answer is because everything else you ever do or say is nothing more than a dream. You're just flirting with dreams, you're just flirting with holograms. The love is the true reality that lasts forever. Every loving act, every kind act that's ever been given often expands. It's like sharing my candle flame to light your candle. You can then light other candles with that. And when I put love in your vessel, even if I die, you can think back on that moment and still release oxytocin or feel, aside from the biochemistry, the feeling of love and kindness and sweetness from having that shared moment with me. And that's true for all of you too. And so I went to Mountain and I was just thinking, I usually have a topic, whatever the title of the video is. And then, so Spirit gives me that topic, and then I just allow my spirit to open the channel and have the divine light or my superconscious mind or that which is on high to speak through me. And the topic I was given at the mountains is love is the only answer. It's like there is only one answer. And so once we understand that there is one answer, one of the biggest things for me that I recognize causes an entity to get out of balance and showing up as the answer that they be, showing up in the light of their truth, which is love, is holding judgments, feeling that you have the right to pass judgment on someone else. But one of the things that I often remind myself is I have not walked in that person's shoes for their entire journey. And I do not know all the twists and turns and things they've been through. What I do know is that they've suffered, because all humans suffer. It's part of being at Earth School. And what I do know is that suffering is hard. And I do know that from suffering, sometimes suffering often comes from being handed poison, and sometimes we don't transmute it into an antidote, and instead we hand poison again. And that when we know better, we do better. And so what I want to do is to always be closer to alignment with the answer. So when I'm having a difficult time placing myself in a state of righteousness to judge another, the first thing I do is remember that I don't know their journey. I'm somebody that believes in many lifetimes. So not only do I not know your journey in this lifetime and all the things you've been through that cause you to behave out of accord with yourself in this moment and now with me, I don't know all the lifetimes you've lived that cause you to be this way in this moment and now. I don't know. What I do know is that sometimes Heather Feather has a moment of now where she's having autistic meltdown and is being deeply unpleasant with the world. Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry about that. And sometimes I really miss the mark of my aim to be unconditional love and form every single day because I love the truth and I'm very eager to be the truth of my being. And so I wanted us to take a look today. Perhaps you want to take a look with me. It's the thing that I'm doing. And I'm asking myself, like, Heather, are there any ways that you have lost the answer? You've been such a seeker your whole life, and you found the answer, and the answer is love. And that answer was placed like a key within you by your own mother at a very early age. And so it always comes back to picking up that key and remembering that key. It rests within all of us. And I do believe love is limitless. It has an unlimited supply because it is the truth. It is the foundation of everything outside of illusion. And so today I'm looking at how are you doing with this answer, this one and only answer when it comes to loving yourself? Are you loving yourself on a physical level? Sometimes I hug myself or I hold myself, kiss myself, hug and kiss myself. Good job, kitten. Way to go. Yes, love you. Nailing it. Do you pet yourself, soothe yourself, love yourself, give yourself attention, even if it's corny or hokey to hug yourself? Who cares? Do it do it when you're in the bathroom. Like kiss your shoulders, give yourself a hug. If you haven't done that, if you haven't embraced yourself, often the love that we are craving is our own self-love. Self-esteem is developed from our own self-love, from us recognizing ourselves, our own innate worthiness, which includes being able to praise yourself just for existing. Like, I love you, Heather. Look at you existing. You're doing great. You human, So how are you doing with the physical world? And are you giving yourself positive touch if you're not getting it out in the world? Heather spent years of her life without positive touch because I'm a weird hermit, and I now have it. I now have a wonderful partner that I'm enjoying getting to know. But I gave myself a lot of positive touch in all those years when it wasn't available. And so, how am I doing with loving myself on a physical level? It's been difficult for Heather lately. I've gotten a little bit off my program. I'm very disciplined. I get up at 5:55 every morning. I do yoga. I do sit-ups. I do push-ups. I do leg lifts. I eat a specific organic whole food diet. Like, I have all these disciplines that I cause Heather Feather to follow as a way of enacting self-care and self-love. And as I've been dating someone, I've been eating different types of foods. I've been drinking more alcohol. I've just been a little extra, because I'm enjoying my time dating someone. And I've noticed how quickly that's caused my awareness to feel like I should withhold love from myself. And I've had to remind myself, like, it's okay to get off program. You're folding someone else into your life, and like, y'all are figuring each other out. And I don't have to be on program all the time. More important than me being on program with my diet and with my exercise is being on program with loving myself. That's the only answer. It's not the push-ups. It's not the freaking sit-ups. It's not the healthy diet. It's the loving myself. The masters truly got this. When you truly get, I am divine, I am worthy of love, there's nothing I need to do in the paradigm in order for me to be worthy of loving myself and receiving love from others, then everything else you're doing, it's like we can focus on any category, any facet of the crystal, but foundationally, the greatest craving of humanity is love. And the weirdest thing about that is what we are is love. Why are we so out of accord with ourselves, everybody? Don't you think this is a goofy out picturing? So how are you doing with loving yourself on the physical? Loving your physical body right now, exactly as it is, without a single change to it. Do you feel you need to deny your body love because XYZ factor? And do you really want to lie to yourself? Because you are love. So in order for you to deny your body love, you have to lie to yourself about the truth that you are, which is you are love. You have to ignore and turn your back on your truth. And how are you doing on your mental level, your communication, your interactions, I'm somebody that publishes things to social media. This is an open target for quote unquote trolls. But what I know is that if somebody makes some troll comment on my page, I am immediately ready to answer that with, this is a reflection of you, and I pray that you love yourself more. This has nothing to do with me. You don't know me. You're welcome to judge me, but you don't know me. So this is about you. I hope you'll love yourself more, which is the right answer for every troll, because really what a troll is doing is taking and purging out all of that self-loathing that they're doing onto others. And so, how are you doing on a mental level? Are you providing yourself the only answer of loving your mind, loving your thoughts, loving your speech, loving what you say? I can often question and analyze, oh, that was weird. Oh, how are you being weird again? You said the weird thing, or sometimes communication does not come out as smooth as one might think from this kooky bird. Often, and does not. And I have to I will reflect and want to judge and self-flagellate, and I have to remind myself, that's okay. You don't have to speak perfectly. Not everyone needs to understand you. They don't understand themselves. You don't understand yourself. It doesn't matter. You don't have to show up so collected. How are you doing on an emotional level? I can flog myself too when I get depressed. I've had a lot of death this year. I've had some sadness. It's been hard to motivate myself and it always is hard to get, it's and I always forget that it will be that way. I'm so used to death. But how are you loving yourself on an emotional level, on a spiritual level? How often do you apply the only answer to yourself? And the reason it is the only answer is because when you are being loved to the self and to the others that are available in this world, you are being the reality, the real truth of what you be. And I think it's beautiful for all of us to get into alignment on this in the living tree. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Moon.